So, Brian, on the second day of our Disney Moon, we got up bright and early and headed to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is one of 4 theme parks that is part of Walt Disney World. There's also a couple water parks, but we didn't really go to those. But we got up bright and early to get there because there's a couple rides there that are new and very popular and usually have long wait times. So here we are on the ferry heading from the ticketing and parking area towards the Magic Kingdom. You can see Cinderella's castle there off in the distance. Magic Kingdom is the one that is most consistently themed after more like classic Disney tales. Here we are in a queue for a ride built off of the Snow White tale. It's one of their newest rides called Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's a roller coaster ride. It's very new and the lines tend to be very, very long, so we tried to get there as soon as the park opened to get in line and only ended up waiting about 20 minutes, which was pretty great. The lines for that ride can sometimes get above 2 hours long. So being able to get in and out in 30 minutes is pretty sweet, and it was such a fun ride. They also have other rides based on other things. This here is a ride based on Winnie the Pooh, and it's just so incredible to see how well themed and well designed everything is. It's sort of like walking into a storybook almost. Every detail is immaculately managed, from the cues for the lines to the plants that are in the area to how the sidewalks go to the building decorations. Everything is purpose built from the ground up to evoke this kind of fantastical storybook feel. There's classic rides there like this Pirates of the Caribbean ride that the movies ended up actually being based off of initially, sort of. There's also other classic rides such as the Haunted Mansion, which is one of my favorites in the park, as well as newer rides like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train I was talking about before. And it's just, there's so very much to do. Magic Kingdom is not the geographically largest park, but I think it's the one that has the most things to do. From shows you can see, Muppets dancing in windows like you can see here, to other more organized shows, to rides, to places to visit, to things to look at. There's just so very much to do. And it's really hard to describe the feeling that you get while you're there. I sort of tried to talk about this in the last vlog about the Disney trip, but it's just magical to be there, and it's really hard to put your finger on exactly what it is. It's hard to describe it to another person, but just the whole time you're there, you just feel in awe of everything around you. We were there during the week, so it was not nearly as busy as it usually gets on the weekends, and that, coupled with the fact that Lulu did so very much meticulous planning ahead of time, meant that we really never were bothered by the crowds. We had fast passes to get in line for rides we really wanted to do, and managed to catch other rides at low times, so it was just pretty much a great trip overall that day. There's so much to do. Like I was saying, the park feels enormous, and each area is sort of themed, and when you go from one to the other, it's like entering a new world. Fantasyland is so different from Tomorrowland, which is so different from Adventureland, and all of them have such unique touches to them that just make them, it's cheesy as it sounds, that make them feel magical. They had all kinds of things to do. Here's a parade that you can see, and the production values are just great. The costumes look wonderful, the acting is great, the dancing is great, the floats are unbelievably cool. And we happened to just luck into this. We had sat down for lunch in one area on the side of a porch because we needed to eat lunch, and realized that we sat down right in the path of the parade that was to start in 30 minutes. We had no idea this was going to happen, and all of a sudden here it was in front of us, staring us in the face. And just things like that, you catch little things, and it's not just the big details like parades and rides, but even little details like the names of shops or the decorations, or little tiny mannerisms that the cast members, the staff that work there will do. It's all so purposefully thought out. It's just incredible. I think that Magic Kingdom was my favorite park there. It's hard to rank them all because they were all so great, but I think Magic Kingdom was really the most magical one out of all of them, and there's so very much to do. It's just hard to describe the feeling like you've walked into a fairy tale the whole time, and everything all day long was so very perfect. It's also really impressive to see all of the various kinds of technology they have, from things in the rides like 3D projections to really advanced animatronics to really clever scheming and planning out of the rides, to other things such as how impressive all the technology is and how they can control everything in the park, the lights and the decorations, to the final evening ending show, which is part fireworks show and part projection projection show where they use the actual Cinderella's castle as the backdrop for the projections. The video is a little bit shaky, but you can see a lot of the neat things they're doing with it, including even projecting entirely other looks onto the castle to make it look different. They can make it look like a Nutcracker themed castle, or like the castle from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which you'll see here in a minute, to all kinds of things. I mean, it was just incredible, the kind of technology they used in this show and in the whole park. It was a long first day. We were at the park for over 12 hours, but it was truly magical and wonderful, and a fantastic way to start ended up being an amazing trip. That's it for this one, Brian, but I have a lot more to talk about for the next few days.